Yo, it's your man MAS, back with more DanDaDan content. Alright, don't mind the hair. Hair's a little crazy, clean on the bottom, kind of crazy on top. But, I mean, you've seen the title. I normally do general anime reviews, but this time, because I don't know, I feel like people have been challenging me, like, oh, like, all you do is compare other anime. You don't actually break down the anime. This is a character spotlight, alright? Evil Eye, alright? The character, in my opinion, one of the best characters in DanDaDan so far. Again, all my reviews strictly about the anime, not about the manga. We don't read over here, alright? But we're intellectuals. We just don't need the books. We intellectuals. I think that's how you say intellectuals of anime, alright? But I mean, we'll jump right into it. If you haven't watched my videos, I'm biased. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm a DanDaDan fanboy. DanDaDan is the best new anime out right now. When I say best new anime, in terms of if you want that feeling, it has all the right elements. And we're gonna start with Evil Eye. Like, it's like the epitome of the anti-hero. But the way DanDaDan does it is they do it really, really well. Alright? So, Juju, I'm assuming that's how you pronounce his name. I butcher names all the time on this channel, all right? So he's another character that comes into the fold. If you're noticing the pattern, right, how these kind of really good, I won't say shonens, but how these like shows work is like they slowly introduce the main cast, all right? Slowly introduce them like, hey, this is the team. They kind of come from all walks of life, all different kind of mentalities, and then they kind of mesh this, I would say like semi-OP team, meaning like they don't know their OP potential, but they're low-key OP characters, and then they kind of introduce the main villain. So that's going to happen. I'm assuming that's going to happen. The way it's going, and I just feel like they've done a masterful job at, you know, portraying that. But okay, I'm gonna get off of DanDaDan's you know what. All right, I'll get into the video. So Evil Eye, all right? He's essentially the anti-hero. He's the Vegeta. He's the EA. Like, he's that character for the most part. You can kind of compare him as a rival. Obnoxious supernatural power. He's one of those people who is, I won't say like a Sasuke, but he's just naturally gifted without trying, right? Evil Eye saw this cat and was like, yo, I'm gonna possess him, right? But that's the essence of, you know, how much of a freak human being Juju is, or Jujutsu, whatever his name is, right? And pretty much he's going through this trauma of course my videos are very much spoilers, so if you don't want to get spoiled, you shouldn't be watching this video. But if you already know the story in detail, you want to know, hey, like, tell me more about this Evil Eye character, like I want to know more about him. This video is meant to just enlighten you, right? So pretty much he's going through things with his house and, you know, things that he can't understand. Essentially, it's Evil Eye, right? The Evil Eye, I guess like the younger version of Evil Eye, but maybe like the human incarnation of Evil Eye. Pretty much, essentially, you know, the main character, I won't say the main character, but Juju kind of sees him as a child. It's like, oh no, all he wanted to do was just be played with, all right? Everybody else is like, no, he's dangerous as fuck, right? But he's like, no, he just wants to be played with, and Lord of Behold, he combines with Evil Eye, right? So the way Evil Eye works, besides like the whole hypnotic, you know, abilities, is like, yo, he kind of, all like the souls that I guess like died in the house or in general, like he has this ability that lets him collect all the souls and puts it in like this kind of form of power. It's pretty creative. Not like it hasn't been done before. I don't want to make it seem like, oh, Jujutsu Kaisen, I call it Jujutsu Kaisen. That DanDaDan is reinvented, but I do not think DanDaDan is reinventable. I just think they're doing what a lot of anime have already done in the past, but they're doing it really, really well, and they're sticking to the recipe. They're not being overly, like, they're being creative enough to be different, but not creative enough where it's like, oh wow, like, I remember this feeling. That's the best I could describe it, right? So, possesses Juju, and then Evil Eye is kind of making it, he's tearing people up left and right, kicks, punches. I feel like a few times he's about to end people's lives, right? Like legit. He was that brutal, that savage, right? But You know, they found a way to contain her. I'm not going to spoil that part for you. But essentially, you have that kind of Jekyll and Hyde character. That is Evil Eye, meaning he's a powerhouse, but they're trying to control him, but he's a very, very powerful ally. He's a very, very strong ally if they can harness that ability. And Juju himself is trying to like harness his chi and harness that ability. I'm assuming that's probably going to be the main power system in this show, like chi. Because the grandma mentioned it, so chi. Right? So the way it works is cold water, he turns into Evil Eye. Hot water, he goes back to normal. The Rama complex. I can't help it. I just like comparing anime. I watch too much. The Rama complex. But they're adding all these elements in this anime that you can see like, yo, they got like a lot of inspiration, a lot of balance. Like, yo, yeah, we're going to introduce this OP rival character, but he has flaws. I'm telling you, like the thing that makes a lot of these characters stand out is the flaws, not so much the OP aspect. People kind of get caught up in like the glitz and glamours and the Jin Woos. I'm just like, my friend, it's not that engaging if there's no balance, right? The thing that makes Evil Eye so engaging is that he's murder intent in the most innocent form, right? You later learn like, yo, like he really just wants a challenge. He's that kind of character. It's just the archetype character, right? He wants a challenge, but he views it in the form of murdering humans. Or his jockstrap views it as murdering humans, however way you want to view it, right? But again, like he can be controlled, meaning like one, that character is going to learn how to control Evil Eye. Eventually you can kind of tell. And then two, what was it? The hot and cold water complex is going to be used to their advantage and also can be used to their disadvantage. I can see it happening in the future where they're having fights and maybe the enemy pours him, you know, with hot water purposely so that, you know, he won't be Evil Eye. And then there's other situations where maybe he can't channel Evil Eye and like by himself. Like, you know, it's gonna come a point in time where like he powers up. There's all my assumption. Haven't read the books, all my assumption. There's probably gonna come a point where Juju is able to just create Evil Eye at will. Like everybody has that kind of level up, everybody has that power up. The thing about it is, it might be a situation where, you know, maybe he's not able to do it, even though he used to be able to do it, and he needs a little bit of cold water in order to kind of turn the tides of battle. That's the way it's looking. But I don't think Evil Eye's character is too complex, but it is very, very classic. It's the classic, again, anti-hero. He's a hero, he's a good at heart, but he's a savage, evil spirit. That is his character. Everybody loves those kind of characters. Again, the people that kind of fall into that category, to give you a better idea if you've been watching anime for a while, the Vegetas. Vegeta was he wasn't trying to save anybody, right? Vegeta was the prince of all saiyans. He was very arrogant about it. Vegeta, EA from Yu Yu Hakusho, I could probably think of quite a few. I don't think Sasuke, like towards it, like, you know, a certain point, yeah, he became like an anti-hero. But initially, he didn't come off the bat. Like, Evil Eye comes from that ilk where off the bat, he's like, yo, I'm rebellious, off rip, right? I want to kill all humans because of how I was treated. And then that kind of talks into it too, like the Evil Eye himself, like the backstory was like I said, he was picked on and maybe he became evil because he never got those experiences, right? That should just tell you, you need to go outside. Go outside, make friends, be sociable, stop watching my videos. Go outside, touch grass, all right? No, continue watching my videos. But you gotta have a good balance. When you don't have a good balance and it's like one extreme over the other, you could turn into Evil Eye. Everybody has their own Evil Eye, all right? When you're kind of undervalued and picked on and kind of secluded, right? But Juju saw that, and that's probably why him and Evil Eye have like that bond. Evil Eye chose him as a host, besides his freakish abilities, like he can kind of see past the BS, which is why I really do think Evil Eye is going to be like a really strong ally for them with the battles to come. You know, battles are going to come. The only thing that we're waiting for in Jujutsu Kaisen currently is a sizable, recognizable villain. And I really love how they're setting it up, where it's only a matter of time. Maybe like the next few episodes, maybe season 3, where like they actually introduce like a standard villain that they're trying to like trump, right? But I mean, essentially, Evil Eye fits that character archetype. All right, I mean, that's essentially the highlight, right? Because I, again, didn't read the book. So I can only base this highlight off of everything I've seen in the anime, right? he's a badass and he's not ashamed of it. All right, but I'll probably do more videos like this if you guys enjoy it, in terms of just character highlights in the actual shows that maybe other videos, I feel like other videos are doing, but like I don't do too much of that. I assume that people who are watching my videos already watch a lot of anime, so they're looking for, oh, interesting titles, interesting subjects compared to other animes that they already watch. But some people like this. Some people just like an informative character highlight. So this is the Evil Eye character highlight. To me, the best character so far in the show. I can't help it. Like if I was going to do a character highlight, it had to be Evil Eye. That's just how fire it is. When that fight scene initially happened, he was kicking the souls all over the place. Yo. Like he was that dude. But yeah, I mean, more DanDaDan content to come. I gotta see how many episodes are left in general, but listen, please, if you like the video, like, comment, subscribe. It's your man MAS, my annoying senpai. I'm out.